let's cut out the Madrona midriff. I'm going to use my projector for this. I've already calibrated it using the 1-inch grid layer that's included with the file. And yeah, let's cut this out. Here are my required pieces. I have one neckband, 2 sleeves, a front shirt, and a back shirt. So to begin, I'm going to sew my front shirt and my back shirt right sides together, and then I'm going to also fold my neckband in half at the short ends and sew that right sides together. So I'll be going over to my sewing machine and I'll be sewing this short end here together, and I will be sewing the shoulder seams here and here. Here we are at the serger. I'm going to sew my neckband first. I've double folded it. This makes the seam less thick, but you can do a single fold and then you'll just fold it again one more time before sewing it onto the neckline. Here we are back at the table, and I'm going to cut all my tails off, and then I'm going to work on sewing my neckband on to my shirt. To do this, I'm just going to fold my shirt in half. I'm going to find center front and center back and mark it with a pin. I'm going to turn my neckband right side out and then fold it wrong sides together. I'm going to fold it so that the seam line is on one side, and then I'll mark the other side with a pin. With that done, I'm going to pin my neckband to my neckline. My shirt is inside out. You can see from these blue lines, this is the wrong side. The neckband is going to be right sides together, so it'll go inside of my shirt. The seam of the neckband will line up to the center back mark. The mark opposite of the seam will line up with center front. Now we're ready to sew the neckband on. We'll start sewing in the back, and we'll gently stretch just the neckband as we sew all the way to the front. We'll remove our clip, and then we'll continue sewing back, and then we'll be done. Here we are at the serger. We're going to sew our neckband on. This is the back. My neckband and my shirt are right sides together. When I sew, I'm going to make sure this seam is towards the back, so it'll be folded like this. Now that our neckband is sewn on, we'll work on sewing our sleeves on. So I'm going to lay this right side up. I'm going to fold my sleeve in half to find the center point on the cap. Marking it with a pin. And now I'm going to lay the sleeve right sides together at the shoulder seam. When I clip this, I'm going to make sure that the seam is towards the back of the shirt. The back of the shirt has the seam from the neckband. When I take this over to the machine to sew, I'll start by lining this corner up with this corner of the shirt. I'll start sewing a little bit, and then I'll readjust my fabric so that the raw edges line up. And then I will gently stretch the sleeve if needed as I sew all the way around to this corner right here. Here we are at the serger, and I'm going to sew my sleeve on. This is my shirt, the corner that we talked about. This is my sleeve, that's the corner we talked about. I'm just lining them up. Now I'm going to sew my other sleeve on. So here is my seam, and I'm just going to take my other sleeve, which I've already marked the center line on, and I'm going to lay it right sides together. And I'll just clip that in place. My seam's going towards the back of my shirt. Here's the back. And now I'm going to line those corners up just like I did before. Next, you'll fold your hems up of your sleeves and the bottom of your shirt 1 inch. You're just pressing them to create a memory fold. You're not actually going to sew them right now. We're going to unfold these hems, and we will fold our shirt right sides together at the shoulder seams, and we're going to sew the side seams. Next, we'll go over to our machine, and we will sew from the sleeve all the way down to the hem on each side seam. Here we are at the serger, and we're going to sew our side seams. I'm starting at the bottom of my sleeve. My sleeve hem has been unfolded, and I'm going to sew each side seam. Now that our side seams are done, we'll fold our hem back up, and then we'll sew our hem. So I'm folding my hem back up 1 inch towards the wrong side of my shirt. Now we're going to sew our hem, and when you sew your hem, make sure you're using a stretch stitch, like a zigzag. If you use a zigzag, make sure your zigzag isn't too wide and too long, because it'll limit its ability to stretch. So you can also use a cover stitch machine as well. So let's go sew our hem. Here we are at the cover stitch machine. I'm going to use my Janome 900 CPX. These are my settings. And this concludes the Madrona Midriff sew along. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.